Welcome to Lyve Talks, a podcast by Lyve, a tech and logistics company headquartered in Abu Dhabi. On Lyve Talks, we tackle fintech, logistics, business, and best practices in the workplace. I'm Karim, the VP of Strategy at Lyve Global, and I will be your host. Welcome to a new episode of Lyve Talks. Today's topic is going to be about marketing and specifically customer-driven data marketing. My guest today is Salam Saadeh. Welcome, Salam. She's the founder and CEO of Datanuum. It's good I say it correctly. Salam, please, if you can introduce yourself, tell us a bit more about your background and how you got to Datanuum.
Sure. So my name is Salam. Thank you for having me here. My background, so by education, I'm computer science by education.
Interesting.
So that's a lot of people don't know that. And then by practice, I was an investment banker, so finance. So
and now marketing.
So I've done that for a very long time. So I'm in, to cut a long story short, I'm very much into numbers basically and data and everything. And then when I left the investment banking, I stumbled back into what technology is all about because I really felt that technology is going to eat the world, literally. And we started looking into ways of where we can help, what are the things that we see in terms of challenges, etc. Being like someone who, through investment banking, have dealt with a lot of businesses, we started looking into the businesses that we used not to touch really back then because the markets was very much driven here by real estate companies and government-related companies and insurance and banks and telecoms and stuff like that, but not of the other ones that represent a very big part of the GDP, which is retailers and entertainment and all of that. So when I started talking to them, I was at the right time when cloud became also important, and listening to their challenges and their pains. It was very obvious to me that that customer data is at the heart of their pain points, even though they did not realize it back then. It was more like, how can we do it more automated? But not really knowing what will make that journey smoother, etc. And and we launched Datanuum on the back of listening to the challenges and understanding the pain points of the different B2C businesses, consumer-facing businesses that are acting in a very competitive world, and how to get the attention of that consumer, right? So we were all in the same boat, and we launched really Datanuum on the back of that. The main challenges that we felt at that point in time is definitely there's a lot of data flowing, and we know the importance of data. I don't need to talk about it a lot, but they're in silos. They're not connected. They don't talk to each other, and eventually that would lead to completely disconnected customer experience on the other end. And we're all about literally making that journey of the customer seamless, or helping businesses to make that journey seamless and deliver great customer experience.
Okay, very interesting. Very interesting shift also. I've gone through similar shifts. We'll talk about it another day.
Yeah.
But I think we can relate a lot. We at Lyve Global also we work a lot with businesses, and we give them the technology to go online. Mm-hmm. And one of the most important things we tell them is you will get your customer data. However, a lot of them just don't know what to do with the customer data. So they get all this amazing data from customers who are now directly interacting with them. It could be online and offline, but like you said, it seems to have been always working in silo mode, and we'll talk about it a bit more. Mm-hmm. And the number one challenge we hear from every customer is, it's very nice, but I'm unable to utilize this customer data at the most, advantageous way. Like, what do I do with this? And as much as we talk about them about marketing and how important it is, you can sense that there is a bit of disconnect of, they think sometimes also tech would do everything, not the marketing tech, but I'm talking about technology of e-commerce, which magically will do everything for them, but there's much more to it. And there's customer journeys, as you mentioned, and a very integrated approach on how you take this customer journey from A to Z. So today, what I want to cover with you is this approach and how technology is enabling now taking this new approach and what you said, the disruption that is happening to marketing along the last 10, 15 years.
Absolutely.
And it continues to happen. So we'll talk about this. We'll talk about what you're helping businesses do. And then we'll talk about challenges that they face. And then we can open up on like what's the future, what future is happening. So let's start with basics.
Yeah.
So what has happened exactly in this disruption, and why is now the new approach that you mentioned sometimes as integrated is now changing how we approach marketing?
Sure. So marketing, if you remember back in maybe 20 years ago or something, was very much all about like design and feeling and have a good ad, and that reports good to what I think as a brand my ideal customer base. And so a lot of people who were very much, at the lead of marketing or leading marketing in marketing departments in businesses were very much coming from that background, right? And they deal with agencies, and it's all about like getting new markets, mainly sales, or getting new customers, but mainly on the increase revenues and all of that, right? With the customer data and with technology and all of that, and with more competition coming on board, marketing has been so much as a function on its own, has been disrupted a lot, right? And now it's all about literally data-driven marketing. It's no longer, and the leaders on that were the people who were the businesses or the technologies that were leading on everything related to attracting new customers. And these are the Google and the Meta of the world, right? So, and everything is all about data-driven. I'll be able to know who am I targeting. I'll be able to see what is the outcome of my ad. All of that in terms and attribution, and which is something that was completely new to the marketeers. However, they completely put all of that challenge on these platforms, right? So you deal with it. And, we give the agency sometimes also the job to deal with it. But, for every business, there are two ways of making money, right? So one is basically attracting new customers, and that's the ad part. Correct. And the other one is like making sure that retaining these customers, understanding with these customers, their preferences, what they like, what they don't like, etc. Listen to them. And so that, you can personalize that journey and keep them, right? And this is the second part, and this is the part that we deal with, right? That where we feel the challenges and where we feel like actually the businesses have a major problem solving. Because as you mentioned, we used to have, most of the people had only stores to deliver a particular or to sell a particular product or service. And now they're, all of them have the online as well. Online, you have data that comes in online. In store, I'm not sure everybody has the ways of collecting that data, right? But, they're as important because they represent 90+% of the sales in many cases, right? So it's still a big percentage. And even when they do, this sits in a place, not only sits in a place, forget about the technology, the teams that are managing the marketing of the stores is very different from this team that's managing the e-commerce, which is the digital marketing, they call it, right?
Correct.
And they don't talk to each other. Actually, they compete with each other within the same brand. So I think it took a while, it's like everything, a disruption first, e-commerce, online. So let's make sure that we're online. So they took care of that. And then the next wave was very much like, okay, what about here? We have customers here. We don't have customers here. How can we capture customer data here? So they started with that. And then at the end of it, now they're thinking that leaders, I would say, the brands that are leading, they're basically saying, okay, no, we have to work in collaboration. It's the same customer. He doesn't care. That customer does not care whether they're buying online or offline or whatever. They're dealing with a particular brand, and we need to deliver the same customer experience across. So that's when it comes. However, the challenges we have a lot of challenges. One of the challenges is basically, as I mentioned, which is two teams, but then you can start connecting them. But the second challenge is that because of the digital, adoption recently, we have an app or we have a tool that does anything, right? For everything, there's a tool, right? Yeah. So they ended up, and money was easy, right? We have zero interest rate for a very, very long period of time. So people were like spending and spending and spending, right? And they ended up with like 15 minimum. Some of them, they tell you even they have 40 different tools they're using in the marketing alone, right? So you can imagine, even without going and auditing those tools, that there is a lot of overlap, that there are a lot of tools that they use maximum 5% or 10% of them. So the ROI is ridiculous, right? They're not making money on that investment at all. And so that's the other the challenge that we looked at and we came to solve. So our approach is a comprehensive solution that manages the full customer lifecycle, starting by merging and integrating with all the touch points of the customer, bring them together, unifying them, organizing them, and activating. You mentioned something that they have that data, but they don't know what to do with it.
Correct.
And then activating that data in real time with things that basically make sense to the customer, because now the customer is in the driving seat. It's no longer the brand in the driving seat, right?
Correct.
So the customer, what does that customer expect? What? They want, something that is seamless, that is fast, that is convenient, that's not like, you send me things that are not related to me, personalized to me, things that I like. Take my preference into consideration. Don't ask me the same question multiple times, So
ask the same question in offline and online,
exactly.
which happens sometimes.
A lot. So literally having the customer at the center and building all the tools that activate that data in order to deliver on what the customer expects. It's not easy, but it's there.
I'm actually still surprised how distinct, and I think we had that conversation before, how distinct the offline and the online journeys were. I thought that it's natural to have them as one from the beginning, but it seems, as you can say, and I've had the experience where, when you go to a store, they take your phone number. It's like the way to get some information.
Absolutely.
At least a phone
the unique
number.
identifier.
Unique
absolutely.
identifier. So what's your phone number? So
yeah.
we know why they're doing that. Mm-hmm. But then when they do some sales online or anything, if I go to a website, they don't even recognize my phone number that they took in offline, as if it's a new customer that they're creating.
Actually, two new records.
Two new records.
So they will have 2 records for you.
Correct.
And they're spending in the wrong place because you're already a customer.
Correct.
I shouldn't be sending you something to become a customer.
Correct.
Here. So if you notice, you go online and you'll have always something off with whatever, 20%.
Discount or
just
anything.
To become a customer,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
You shouldn't be doing that for an already existing customer.
Correct.
As a brand. You should be doing it for somebody new, like a new lead, right? It depends again on what you're trying to, but there is a lot of overlap, and the way they were treating it for a very long period of time. Here I am one person, here I'm another person, and vice versa. I might be like somebody who deals with them, and I'm a very, very good customer online. And then I come to the store, nobody recognizes me, they have no idea, they treat me as a new, etc., etc.
Correct.
So it's very.
I mean, I'm like I said, I was fascinated a bit about this idea of disconnect. The other point that you bring out, which is very on spot, is a lot of businesses spend a lot of money and a lot of focus on acquiring customers. They do digital marketing, they spend a lot, they're following this ROI, how much per user acquisition cost, it needs to be less than this amount, and they come and fight you about this number because the agency did not go well or something. And then they have the customer. Let's say they've accumulated 200 customers, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
This dies. There's no follow-up with the customer. There's no something, like even a nudge saying, hey, I'm still here. If you want something, come and buy again.
And numbers do show, Yani. And basically, there are a good 80% of the budget is spent on new customers acquisition.
Correct.
Right? Because of competition, again. If you are a business that operates as a monopoly, you don't need to do anything. We all know that basically people only do things extra when they're pushed to do something, right? Yeah. When they feel the heat, right?
Correct.
But in a competitive environment like we're in, you need to do something, otherwise you're going to die as a business, right? They spend a lot of amount on the new acquisition, because again, it's just the easy way in. And this is how, somebody told them, I can do it for you. I'll bring it out. You just need to do the ad here, etc. You'll be able to target, the personas that you want. It's all of that. And I'll be able to measure my CAC and all of that. But because of that, customer acquisition cost has gone up tremendously, 220%
Correct.
in the last few years.
Because
right?
it's tough to get new customers.
Absolutely,
It's
because
very
they're
tough.
all bidding for the same keyword,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
We all know how it works. And like you said, it's basically they forget about once this customer comes in, what do I need to do with this customer to keep them coming in? How can I, so the main idea now, now the new technologies are coming out, they're mainly coming and focusing on how to increase customer lifetime value. That's exactly, and we consider ourselves as people, as the technology that will help you increase customer lifetime value, but at least 35%. That's, proven. And this is crazy. Why, but I think more and more the shift is coming to that direction that, I need to do something with my current customers to keep them coming back, to retain them, because it's much cheaper to sell to my customer versus selling to a new customer, right? It's 7 times cheaper. It's not so it from all angles, no matter how you look at it, it makes a lot of sense to focus on this.
Okay, maybe to make it more tangible, let's take an example. Give 1 or 2 examples. Let's start with the first one where, you've looked at the customer journey with data and you see how it can change with technology. Any example?
Okay, so, we call them customer journey for a reason, because it's not like in a one thing you do something and they we all basically go to shops. We give them your mobile number, as you mentioned, and sometimes once you're done with your transaction, you receive a thank you. If you're lucky. I don't know if you've received it.
Rarely. They're not using enough tech.
So that's the first, I would say this is 5-6 years ago, if not more. So basically that's the basic. The idea is, how can somebody who actually comes in for the first time, identifying that this is a new customer, and identifying first of all a new lead, right? Somebody who registered on your website, or he did respond to a survey online, or if he filled a form online, whatever it is, whatever your activity that you're doing, right? But did not actually transact yet. That's a lead, right? A new customer is someone who did the first transaction.
Right.
A returning customer, someone who's done transactions before and returning. So let's take those 3 very basic examples. A new lead you should go, once I acquire a new lead, automatically, and I'm not talking about in the past, okay, I'll bring down every lead, all the leads that I accumulated from Google and Meta, I'll download it, and then, maybe a month later I'll do something with it, etc. That's, you lost the lead, right? So you have to do something that's in real time, right? Where when I acquire the new lead, I need to welcome them, give them history about my brand, what my brand represents, the values, etc. And now it's all about ESR and all of these things, right? And maybe the new collection, all of that. The idea is, what is the purpose of all of this? To convert the new lead into a customer. That's the main idea, right? From a business perspective, let's put it in business terms. So that journey can be constructed to do that, right? And it keeps, you go into that journey as a new lead, right? And then, there are different messages, very personalized along the way, that at any point in time, it checks whether you did something. And if you did it, it exits or it goes in a different branch. Or if not, it continues, right? But the main purpose of it is to convert you into a transaction, which is at the end of it, sometimes in a month or something, after communicating multiple times, they might send you a discount voucher, in order to turn you into a customer. So the idea, it depends on the brand and the positioning of the brand, where they are in terms of are they luxury, are they mass, are they whatever, it depends. These are the journeys that we construct together, but you put them in the technology and then they work on their own. It's one-on-one communication, very personalized, based on where you are in the journey, which is, in this case, a lead. Right?
Okay.
Then once you transact, you become a new customer, but you're not loyal yet, because a new customer To be considered loyal, at least you have to do like 2 to 3 transactions. Again, depending on the brand. We're not talking about cars, for example.
Yeah, of course. But at least as a new customer, you're technically still trying the brand, or maybe you know it, but you don't have the means to buy it. But still, you're still trying the brand.
So this is when a feedback would be very interesting, maybe, right? To understand, what do you think about the product? How are you using it? It depends also on the product. If there are tips on how to use it, or if there are tips on how to wear it, or if you have, you've done even let's go to the service sector. You've done a dental procedure, right? And then basically they send you like in a week that you can now eat this. You don't forget to take this medicine. Don't go into the sun, etc. So it's about really extending the relationship beyond the actual walls of the store or the transaction online.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And really extending and making the customer feel that you care about him. He's not just a number. Right?
Right.
That can be achieved through technology. Now, if you have, I always say it, if you have one, neighborhood store, okay, and only one, and you're there all the time as the owner, you can do it without technology, right? Because you know everybody.
Yeah, you know them people.
Okay, that's it. And so it's not like about really the technology. It's about personalizing that touch, that making sure that this customer, you make him feel that you know him, so that he feels comfortable to give you feedback, to tell you what he wants, to share it with you the preferences, and to actually so that you can personalize and gain him as a loyal customer. Because by gaining him as a loyal customer, you're increasing customer lifetime value, you're increasing revenues, you're growing. All of that is and with minimal investment.
I do have a question, because this is something that always I had in my mind. When you have a new customer, could be also a returning customer, and you ask for feedback, there is a tendency that only people who have issues will provide feedback. And people who have a good experience, the majority of them will just ignore it because they were not bothered, so they want to spend time. Does technology tackle this?
There is you're touching on you're talking about a very interesting topic, actually. There is I would say there's an opinion, but everybody subscribe to that opinion, right? We know how important reviews are. Okay, why people give 5 stars? If I want to give like a really bad review, I will go and definitely give my feedback, right? Because I've had a bad experience. But once I have a good experience, I might not be interested to really give a good review. It's only, you will be incentivized to do that, or you will do it if you're incentivized to do that, right?
Correct.
What is the incentive? Incentive, you become an ambassador of the brand, meaning I will get freebies. I have to get freebies at the end, right? That freebies can be freebies or basically invitation. If we're talking about a F&B, it's invitation, it's a new menu, it's trying new menu, it's, things that are extra, it's a bit, or a discount, or whatever it is, right? And that is only achieved through loyalty. And I want to talk a little bit about that, because loyalty is, a lot of people think of loyalty because it's such an old concept, right? And in many ways it did not work. But the innovative or the new generation of loyalty is there to help you get that data needed to actually be able to deliver a great customer experience and to make sure that these customers become loyal. And not because of the loyalty part. It's just, these little things that you can, personalize the experience to the customer, but at the same time make them feel, give them something back, incentivize them to do something. So we've tried it with feedback, and it works. So people do give positive feedback when they know that they're going to get something back in return, right? But the return, the positive or the reward is not linked to positive or negative, to any feedback, right?
Correct.
So then it's basically, it's not like, I'm punishing the people who are giving me bad feedback.
but there is a tendency, because this has always been the case. When you have a problem, you will tend to put a feedback because you had a problem or you had a bad experience. But if you had a good experience, you need to be incentivized in a way to put an experience. So by doing that, you're just nullifying the effect a bit of the negative being too much on the positive. If that is the opinion there, but I'm sure some people might have other opinions about it. But again, it's the effect of a bit using some incentive, like you said, something in return.
So basically, some people are against that approach. Basically, I don't need to incentivize people to do that, right? But we've tried it; it works, and it's not about they're just giving a good feedback because to get the reward at the end of it. But they had a good experience, so they gave that. One major thing that we always advise customers to do or businesses to do is that feedback should not be more than 3 to 4 questions. If you can do it in one question, that would be great.
Yeah.
Right. So having, for example, you see it now on apps, mainly delivery and whatever. I cannot start a new transaction or a new order without giving the feedback. Right. It annoys me sometimes, but I do it.
Yeah. This is what. Karim and Uber do.
Yeah.
When you open to book another the first thing that comes up is the feedback for the previous driver. Now you can push on the right and get it off, but sometimes you're like, oh, okay, fine, I'll just put it.
Exactly.
It takes 2 seconds anyways. I was happy. Especially, it's very easy. If you didn't have any problem, you're gonna either put 4 or 5 on 5. So it's like easy for you. You just press it.
I'm going to give you another example. So let's say you went and bought, fashion, shirt or whatever, right? And if they tell you and they took your phone number, first of all, in a store, you're rarely going to give them your real. And I'm in technology. I'm all about customer data.
And you never give the real phone number.
Real phone number, unless there's something in it for me. Yes, of course.
Interesting.
Yes.
I always give the right number.
Yeah. You're too good.
That's why I'm getting so many ads all the time.
No, I don't.
Okay, so random number.
So basically the real phone number, I give it when there's something in it for me. That I have a reward, I have loyalty.
Do you ask right away what's in it for me?
No, I ask them, why do you need my phone number?
Okay, all right.
And if they tell me so that when we have good offers to send you, I'm gonna tell them, not in order not to offend the cashier, I'll give them a phone number, but I change few numbers on my phone.
Fine, okay, all right, okay.
There is someone receiving the offers. Come to think of it.
If there's someone close to this number, don't be.
But yeah, so but when they tell me no, it's part of the loyalty, you're gonna get points, so that's gonna be whatever. It's and if it is a brand that I like and I'm gonna be interacting with the brand, why not?
Lately, it's to get your invoice. I don't know if you've noticed that one.
Exactly.
It's a trick now.
This is definitely something that we do as well, because especially when it comes to if you have a return policy, right? So it's also an incentive, right? Yeah. It's the return to be able to easily, you don't lose that thing. Or basically sometimes they say, there would be a voucher linked to you, whatever. Correct. So all of that is digital, it's on your phone. It's no longer you're going to lose it. It's not a paper or whatever, right? And it's very important, what we call it's e-receipts and all of that, right? So this is it's becoming more and more this. But just imagine you're receiving an email or an SMS that takes you through a link that opens, that tells you, why do I open it? And I'm not going to open it just basically because it says thank you. I'm going to open it if there is a loyalty balance that's changing, right? And there's something voucher that's waiting for me or something. Correct. So I'll open it, and then there is like one line at the end. Your opinion matters to us. 5 stars. I just within it doesn't even. So
I thought it was the unsubscribe button.
You have to have it. You have to have it by law. For sure.
But okay, maybe moving on. I think there's a lot of customer journeys. There's a lot of, I think, cool things we can do with tech now, which was not possible before, which was these kind of personalized journeys.
Yeah, I want to mention one thing about journeys. For example, another journey, it's what we call it product replenishment journey. So you buy a perfume, for example, or makeup. It works on these things a lot. And it has, you know that if you're buying that particular SKU and if you use it, it's gonna finish in 30 days.
So more or less, when to send the message.
So the technology, the moment you do that transaction, it picks up that there is an SKU, it triggers a message but scheduled on the 29th with the actual so you don't have to do anything, right? With the actual link to the exact one online, because, if you do, you tell me go to the store and buy it.
No. But you already bought it. If you're happy with it, you just bought it.
You just bought it. You just go there, add chart, done.
Yeah.
Right? That we've seen a major, it's really, really amazing response on this.
Okay, good.
And there are many.
I'm sure we can think of many examples.
Yeah.
What are the typical challenges you've seen? I mean, tech coming to an organization always have challenges. What are the common challenges you see from businesses when they pick up such tech?
Okay, so the first thing, because we need to integrate with all the touch points to be able to have a unified customer data.
Correct.
And this is the core of our solution. It's a customer data platform, right? The difference between CDP, which is customer data platform, and what a lot of people know, the CRM is very well known, right? Is that it doesn't only have personal data and transactional data, it has also digital behavioral data, right? Not even transactional related.
Correct.
So what you browsed, what you put in cart and left, etc.
Correct.
With a lot of information related to that. And also your marketing engagement data, feedbacks you've given, your open rates on the emails, your click-through, your everything. So you can have like a really 360-degree view about the engagement rate of the customer and about his, how much he's satisfaction rate, and the transaction and recency and frequency and all of that. And, accordingly have more insights to personalize the experience, right? So the challenges was basically when we come to integrate with all of those, this is when, we're dealing with marketeers, business on the business side. And on the business side, they know what they want to achieve. Then when it comes to technology, they tell us, okay, well, you deal now with the IT guys.
Correct.
And it depends then at that point in time what systems they have and challenges related to integration, right? Yeah. We do it very fast. We have plugins, etc. But their time and their whatever, and sometimes they come back to this all the time. That's one angle that we need to manage. But it's not really a challenge, but we need to manage, and it takes longer usually than the conviction from the business team. But then once we launch, it's as you said, there are a lot of people who think put the technology in and it works on its own.
Always. Magic.
Right?
No.
So no. They had a box that they need to launch a loyalty, they tick it. No, but the loyalty has to stay fresh, simple.
Yeah.
You need to put it at the center of your marketing campaigns. You need to activate it. You need to. It's not. It does work. There is an automation machine that works on. But if you don't remind people about things, if you don't do something about it, you don't every now and then get something surprising effect in it doesn't work. Same thing with everything, right? So. That's why we don't sell technology. We sell solutions, we say, and we have a customer success manager that works with these businesses to actually make sure that this is on top of mind and they plan for new things in the future, etc., so that they keep it fresh. And
so we go back to technology and people, which is usually the big challenges, integrations and people.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe now looking a bit to the future, I mean, what do you see as kind of emerging trends, right? Or things that are changing? I know everybody's talking about AI. Is this something that now is also coming and creeping into this technology?
Of course. What do you think?
Not only the cool name, but actual things.
I think from what we see in the future is definitely one thing is simplifying the MarTech stack.
Okay.
So that's definitely we're seeing it. So before it used to be, I again with digital adoption, extreme digital adoption, they had a tool that does one thing, and they do it.
Correct.
Now they're all about, there's a major trend about simplifying, bringing a few things. So it's all about comprehensive. There is also the element of solution, which is the human thing, as opposed to just technology. They need somebody to advise them on how to do it, whether you do it from within the company or through the aid of another company that does consultancy. It's something else, but they need that element, especially in the region. But then from a new trends is AI definitely is there. Now, where AI comes in, AI is the overarching, if you want, technology. There is. Everybody is familiar with ChatGPT. AI has been there for a long time. And, with ChatGPT, it became, the talk of town and everybody knows about it. So in communication with customers, ChatGPT can come in, right? So it can, the generative AI, when it comes to anything related to emailing and communication, it can generate, help in generating, and also help in personalizing the message with the right images and the right everything, right? So that's one part that is definitely there, and we will start seeing use cases in that part. The other part, it's called AI, but I call it ML. It's more machine learning, right?
There's always a confusion between the two.
Yeah, because AI is still, there are a lot of research being done to actually reach what AI is really about.
Of course.
So it's machine learning is there definitely when it comes to because there's a lot of data, right? And how to read that data and how to actually predict from predictive analysis point of view. So I know that customer and the behavior and everything, and I can predict his next action, right?
Correct.
So in our world, what we call segmentation is definitely can be AI powered. It is already. We have that, but it can, there are more tools now to introduce. In automation, because it's about predicting, so accordingly I'll send you something at the right time, at the right moment, right? So when it comes to this, is definitely AI is playing a big role. And there is a big AI agenda, but as I said, it's more ML than AI, but yeah, this is
that's good. Okay, I mean, just to recap as we're finishing up the discussion, I think what we're trying to say here at the end is marketing in general has evolved a lot. Mm-hmm. Technology now is enabling certain customer journeys that before were overlooked.
Yes.
And now with data that is available and can be used, we can achieve very personalized and very active customer journeys for all the businesses.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much for being on our show.
I
think it was a very engaging discussions, and hope to see you another time maybe. Until the next time, thank you for joining Live Talks, and see you next time.